Hello everyone. Gonna wait a few seconds. I do have my phone up to see because last time I lost comments halfway through. So I'm just gonna wait here a second and see if it shows up, and then maybe I can see them better on my phone. Let's see. Okay, here we are. I did want to try something new real quick, and I added in 2 poll questions, but I don't know how they go. So that's okay. All right. Ooh, it is 4 o'clock on a Friday. How is everybody doing? How are we doing? Okay. Well, I am Sarah. I'm the aquatic director at the Sussex County YMCA. I really wanted to come on here today and see how you guys were all doing and talk about some things that we can do together during this crazy quarantine time that we have going on. I did make some lovely notes. I usually don't when I do live videos, but I really wanted to make sure that I touched on every topic. That way we got the most out of it that we can get with our time here together. So I do see that we have a few friends on. I'm just battling against these comments, so let's see who's here. That way I know if I can see everything, and this is pretty much interactive and as much as we can do together here today. So I see Jonathan. Hello, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. So like I said, I'm the aquatic director, but as we all know, we wear many hats from day to day. So one of the other things that I do in my free time, which I say with a smile because we know we're all busy, is I volunteer for a crisis hotline. So I'm a certified crisis responder for I'm Alive, which is a worldwide organization with an online chat. So it's pretty cool, but I'm using kind of what I've learned from my time with I'm Alive, as well as what I've learned through the past to be able to present this to you guys. So again, first and foremost, my first question before we dig really deep into this is, how are you guys doing? I do see we have some friends on here, so tell me, are you hanging in there? Are you doing really great today because it's 4:03 on a Friday and we're ready for the weekend? Could you really use a hug? I know I could really use a hug. I miss them. But put in the comments how you're doing. I would love to see an update. How are we doing, friends? How are we doing? Let's see, let's see. I only saw Jonathan so far. Let's see. Well, anytime throughout the video, put in there how you're feeling, how you're doing, how it's going for you, because I would love to hear. I would love to hear from you guys. So, as we get kind of knee deep into the nitty gritty stuff, I wanted to talk about and explain a few things. Like I said, I do have some notes here, so just, put in the comments, you're rambling, and I'll gladly take a deep breather. But I wanted to talk about what crisis is. One of the things people hear and see is that the world's in crisis and so much is going on right now, and they think of like the really heavy, deeper topics such as suicide, which is not what this is about. We're not going to be talking about that. But crisis really is anything that puts you off balance. So we are driving down that straight and really flat, newly paved road, and all of a sudden we hit that speed bump, and now we're off track. Or you're on a back road that you've never been on before, and you've hit a speed bump, and now you're flying into the air. It is anything that puts you off of your sense of normal and feeling like you're calm and in control. So that's what we have, that sense of what crisis is. So again, it's just that feeling of being off balance. It could be anything. And we all experience crisis. We experience crisis day to day, whether there was a pandemic or not. And it's different for everybody. So knowing that you're not alone, but that just because I feel stressed and you feel stressed doesn't mean that our crisis is the same. So that is what crisis is. I know right now, with all of us being in quarantine, it could be stuck in the house for the first time with someone that this is the most time we're spending with them, or we now have to homeschool our child and we don't know fourth grade math, or we burnt the dinner and now we don't know what we're going to do. So those are all different examples of a crisis. Other than stating the obvious of being sick and loss of jobs right now and things like that. So, oh, hello, Katie. Oh, Jonathan, yes, we all are missing one another. Like I said, just walking in those doors and high-fiving and hugging and being there. Definitely. So that's crisis. Another thing before we get into kind of the nitty gritty of some coping skills and some fun mental health stuff, and I have to use the word fun because this is tough on all of us. So I'm really trying to keep it light and positive. So everything going on with the COVID-19 right now, it is a pandemic and there is a lot going on that we're experiencing. Like I said, those overwhelming feelings and stress right now. But what we're actually going through is grief. And that sounds really weird, doesn't it? Like, we're going through grief, but we're here. But it's true. So the grief that we're experiencing is something that we've never had before. It is the changing of our jobs. It is losing our job, having to work home for the first time. It is that loss of a routine and normalcy or long commute. All those different things that we have right now is what is causing us grief. So like I said, that sounds kind of weird when we're talking about kind of everything else going on, but it factors into our mental health. So let's talk together on some different coping skills, like I said, that I've learned with my time volunteering with I'm Alive, as well as different experiences kind of day to day and my knowledge that I can spread with you guys. I'm not by any means a certified therapist, counselor, doctor, etc. Like I said, just a certified crisis responder, sharing my knowledge and checking in on you guys. So, are we ready? Are you guys ready? First and foremost, I said this once before and I'm going to say it again. You are not alone. We are not alone through any of this. You are not going alone through the pandemic, no matter where you live or what you may be experiencing, the stresses that you're going through, all of that. You are not alone. We are all here. So, there's two things, that makes four, but there's two things that I'm going to do first before we kind of start talking about those coping skills. So that is breathing and grounding. So with our breathing and grounding, there's two things that we can do. So a lot of people who meditate or do, different kind of activities to be able to cope might know these, and we're just going to do it together. We're going to work together. But these are things that you can use at any time. Even once this pandemic is over, it could be the first snowstorm we have next year. It could be the first time you have allergies ever. I don't know. Just different things to help you. So with breathing, again, we're going to do this together. We want to inhale for 3 seconds. We're going to hold it for 1. And then we're going to exhale for 5. So by doing this, it triggers all of the stuff within us. I'm not going to get too knee deep into the anatomy, but it helps us slow and settle our mind and body. So again, we're going to breathe in for 3, we're going to hold for 1, and we're going to exhale for 5. Let's do this now, and then we'll recoup, okay? Are we ready? We are going to breathe in for 3, 1, 2, 3, hold for 1, and exhale for 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, Bernadette. All right, so how are we feeling? I know I was talking through it and we wouldn't usually do that, so we're going to do it again without me coaching you through. I'll give you the hand signals that I just gave before, but we're just going to work on our breathing. Okay, so we're going to breathe in for 3, wow. Just doing that twice, I feel like I've just kind of sunk into my chair and I feel a little bit more calm. I feel more kind of in tune with how I'm feeling and what's going on. So breathing, that is one simple thing that you can do to get started on, kind of changing some things within our anatomies to feel better. By doing that, it helps us think of our mindfulness. So we're hearing that word mindfulness a lot right now. It's definitely something that we should always be aware of and we always have going on. And what that is, it's defined to us as focusing in our present moment and being able to experience it for what it is. So again, being mindful of the things around us and how we're feeling. With that being said, the next thing is grounding. So that is going to be what I like to call our 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Many people have heard this before. It's different for all of you. And if you've done this before and it already works in your capacity, keep doing that. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through these in the way that I know. And maybe it'll be something new for you. That'll be a change. So 5 is 5 things that you can touch. That could be your hair, and you're describing them to yourself. You're really thinking about what that feels like. Is it soft? Is it knotted? Is it curly or straight? You're doing different things like the fleece that I have on. You're feeling it. Does it feel soft? Does it feel like it has a fuzzy on it? Does it have a material on it? Different things. So those are what you're doing. You're focusing on 5 things that you can touch in your environment. A ring. You know, mine has writing on it, has a twist on it, some different things. So 4 is going to be 4 things that you can look at in your environment. So right now, where I am in a room, I'm looking around. I see a water bottle, and you're really looking at what that is. You're describing it to yourself. It has some ridges. It has a lid with a seal. It has a soft and smooth label. You are doing that for 4 things in your environment. A phone. What does the case feel like? Does it have smooth sides? You know, you're kind of looking around to see what's there. 3 is going to be 3 sounds in your environment that you can listen to. So right now I'm talking to you guys, so that could technically be a sound for you. It could be the TV on. It could be the vibration of your cell phone going off. It could be music, anything. So 3 sounds in your environment. And then 2 is you're noticing 2 smells in your environment, and what are they? So one thing that I smell right now is my chapstick. I just put it on before the live started. And another smell is the water. So I took a sip of water before we went live. It's lemon, so it could be pretty strong. And then the last thing is we are going to observe the taste in our mouth. And that sounds really weird. That's not something you're used to hearing or usually do, but you're observing it. What does that taste feel like? Feel like you're not feeling it, but you know what I mean. So I, again, just had a sip of the lemon water before we went live. So for me, it's a little bit stronger. So I have some of that lemony kind of flavor in there. Coffees, different things. You're going to observe the taste in your mouth. So that is our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? This can help us when we're feeling overwhelmed to feel less overwhelmed. It can help us kind of plug into our body and the current environment around us in order to help settle how we're feeling. Okay? So that is our breathing and our grounding. Do we have any questions before we move on? I really want you guys to get as much out of this as you can. So I would love to hear any questions or ideas that you might have. And I'll answer them anytime throughout. All right? So again, as you kind of saw, if you go back, is how we felt when we exhaled and our breathing and kind of how it was to focus on all the things around us. By doing this, it helps kind of pump the brakes on the current things that are giving us that overwhelming stimuli. It can give us that chance to kind of focus and recharge our mind and body during this time. Okay, so now on my little next page, it's definitely shorter, we are going to talk about some of those tools that we already have in our tool belt. I like to use that terminology because it's true. So whether you've ever had that conversation about mental health or talked about it before, we've all experienced feelings and emotions. We've all experienced that overwhelming joy of buying our first car, or we've experienced that low of trying to think, like having a pandemic and having to be home quarantined for the first time. So we've all kind of experienced those highs and lows and everything in between. So We all have those tools. We like to call those coping skills. So sometimes you just need that little nudge to be able to know that it's okay to give them a try or that you already have them. When I'm going through this list of kind of basic coping skills that everyone might already be aware of, you're going to be like, I already do that right now, or I've done that before, but I never thought to give it a try again. Or you might learn something new and be like, you know what, I'm totally going to try that this weekend because I'm really feeling it. This week was rough and I need it. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to talk about is our lists. I'm a very organized person, so I make lists generically anyway, but making a list can really help us realign and refocus to think about what we're trying to do in that moment. If there is a big project or a task that you have going on, there could be that you need to break it down into smaller lists. So if we are trying to focus or really worried about our tasks for the day, as far as I have to get a presentation done, homeschooling assignments for my child, dinner, and a movie's going to be on. I don't know. You have to stream a movie, but you've never done it before. So breaking those down into smaller tasks. What ingredients do I need for my meals? Do I have to prep anything ahead of time? Do I have to take anything out ahead of time? What assignments do... My dog is barking. What assignments do I need help with in order to get through? So making those little tasks to be able to cross off as you do them and then throw out that list when you're done. It's that sense of accomplishment that I've completed one. Now I can go to the next. And then it gives you that chance to focus. So lists, that's a kind of simple but an important thing for us to be able to do. Hi friends. I think we got disconnected, which was probably my fault, which leads to an overwhelming feeling of frustration. But that's okay, because that's what we're here talking about. So I apologize for everybody that was watching before. You might have to rejoin now, which is odd to have to do. But again, I'm back, we're here, so hopefully everyone that was watching before, because we were just getting into kind of the fun stuff of our coping skills, I'm going to pull that back up because Stacy had a really great question on the bottom of that first video. So again, sorry, we're still going though, we're here, left right off on the book and then it said error, so welcome back everybody. Just comment just so I know that it's working again. It was my fault. Like I said before some of you joined, this is what we're talking about, our mental health. Technology leads to overwhelming frustration for me and I gotta just work through it. So here we are and we're doing it. I am just gonna pull up because the Facebook Live video worked better for comments on my phone. So, okay, let's get right back into it. I have Stacy's comment up, so we should be good to go there. We were talking about finishing our favorite episode or movie. To be able to do that, but then also keeping a journal. So this can be really important for multiple reasons. So keeping a journal to talk about our feelings. We can talk about how our day went, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the pros and cons of a specific situation. We can also use our journal for a lot of good because we tend to keep things in as human beings. So by being able to put it out there into written form can also be very releasing and therapeutic for you. So keeping a journal to talk about your feelings and how your day's been going and what's been going on there. Okay. Next is something that we are all trying to definitely do is working out at home, going for walks, getting that sun, whatever it might be. So that one's a pretty self-explanatory one, working out. But kind of going hand in hand with writing it down in a journal and working out, you can also keep a journal of your exercise routines. When you do that, it kind of gives you that sense of accomplishment when you realize that you've upped your reps or you're getting stronger or you tried a new routine for the first time or a new exercise or you held a plank or whatever it might be. By kind of writing that down, it gives you that great feeling of accomplishment and achievement. So keeping a journal of your exercise routines. Some other things, now you can't laugh or judge me because this is a throwback. I've had this since 2002, is my iPod. really old, still works though. So listening to music can be really powerful as well. Different things, whether it is a certain playlist that you go to when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed or sad, or you need that kind of pump up to get into the groove to be able to work out for the first time in a month or whatever it might be. Music is pretty important. So I do have my iPod. Like I said, it's pretty vintage right now for what everyone else is doing. Some other things that you can do is read. So my friend wrote a book. Tim is awesome. But, read a book and get really involved in the story plot and, pick up that book you've wanted to read for the longest time, or maybe a book that you got for a holiday or a special birthday or something. Read. It can be very calming and relaxing to do. Another thing is puzzles. I love puzzles. They're so much fun. I love, when you think the piece fits, or the challenging shapes. So you could definitely do a puzzle to be able to calm. Not saying that you have to do all 750 pieces in one sitting. You can do the border and then leave it. And then when you're feeling overwhelmed again, go back and try to put more pieces into the puzzle. Another thing, this is a pretty fun book. It's definitely not for all, but it's called Moodles Presents Stressed. It is Moodles or Doodles with the power to change your mood. So there's some different things in here about using your imagination, exploring stress, how you're feeling different things. So this is pretty fun. This was gifted to me and I thought this was perfect for this video. And the last few little things I can think of is coloring. That's been a big thing lately. So being able to, sorry, I'm like on the wrong side. Being able to color can be very relaxing as well. This was also gifted to me, Dr. Strange, total nerd. But being able to choose the colors and kind of create your own thought process can be really something that's helpful. We did talk about a few different mindfulness stuff. We've used that word a few times. We defined it. We talked about some of those things, working out, etc. We do have a mindfulness playlist channel on the Metro YMCA The Orange's YouTube. It is in a post further down on the Sussex Y page. So if you need to get linked over to there, there's different yogas, tai chis, meditations, things like that to be able to focus on and help during this time. So again, that is there. And then the last two-ish, three-ish things I have are, one thing we really want to try to do is stick to our normal routine. I know that sounds crazy. You might be laughing on the other side of your computer screen or phone screen. It's difficult, but we want to try. And what I mean by that is getting up around the same time every day. So if 6 a.m. is our get up time, when we were working and life was normal and we were all happy, you still want to try to stick to that routine right now. Going to bed around the same time, things like that, trying to stick to that routine. If the first thing you do is get up and make a pot of coffee, do that. Continue to do that now. It can be really helpful to have those be that normal sense of us. One really big thing, and I'm having a hard time kind of doing this right now, is doing something for yourself. This was a little bit more simple when we could go out and do different things. If I wanted to go get ice cream and walk around the park or whatever that might be to kind of have that rewarding thing for myself. I can't really do some of those anymore, but what I mean by that is have those treat yourself moments. If every Saturday morning is the day and time that you want to do something for yourself, do it. Find a way to make that happen. It could be getting up, getting dressed in a dress that you would wear to work. Wear your heels, do your hair, put on your makeup. Gentlemen, like put on cologne, act like you were going to a work meeting or different things like that. Kind of doing something for yourself and having it be as comfortable and exciting as possible to do again. Do it. It's going to make you feel so much better. One thing that I do is I paint my nails. So I just painted my nails not that long ago, and I try to keep them painted. That's usually the thing that I do for myself. So I can definitely still do that now, and that's what I've been doing. I changed the color from blue to glitter, so that's what I'm doing. And the last thing I have, I know, it's so sad to come to an end in part 2 video. Thank you guys for coming back and sticking with me. Again, Stacy, yes, I do still have your question. I did pull it from the other one. But the last thing I have is reaching out to family and friends. Now, a lot of people are doing that right now anyway. They're checking in on them. They're seeing how they're feeling. They're doing these Zoom chats or house parties or different kind of virtual things, which is perfectly fine. But what I mean by that is a lot of the times we don't like to reach out to our friends and family when we're feeling overwhelmed or need somebody to talk to because we feel like we are going to be a burden to them or that they can't help me or they don't understand or they won't get it or you're afraid of something, the fear of them not supporting you or whatever it might be. So what I mean by that is obviously do what you're comfortable doing, but they're going to be there to support you. So if you feel like you need to reach out to your friend just to sit here and chat like this and drink your water and talk about how the sun only came out for 2 hours today, now it's cold, do that. A lot of the times by just openly expressing to them, hey, when I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed and I feel like my anxiety is kicking up, what really helps me is being able to go get ice cream. So now when we're quarantined, what we can do is just, hey, do you want to hop on a call real quick and we'll eat ice cream together while we're talking? You know, you don't necessarily have to talk about how frustrated you were because you burnt dinner or whatever it might be. So again, being open with them to let them know what could help you in this time is very beneficial to you and them. That way they're not feeling overwhelmed when you are. So friends and family, like I said, you're not going to be a burden and you can talk about what you want to with them, but they're there. We're all here. All right. So we talked about a lot of different kind of basic coping skills. Again, the list can go on and it's different for everybody. Playing the guitar, video games are a big thing, different things like that. That's fine. Like I said, you guys have the tools in your tool belt already. So let's do this. If you know of these coping skills and you've had them before, just because it may not have worked 3 months ago when you tried it doesn't mean it's not going to work right now. So what I ask or have you guys consider is try it. If writing down in a journal doesn't work because then you start thinking about all those feelings and emotions in that moment again, but that was 3 months ago, try it again. Try it now. Because it could be totally different in this circumstance. And again, there's tons of resources out there. You guys are not alone. We're not alone. I'm not alone. Like I said, I volunteer with I'm Alive, and we are a worldwide, like I said, international, almost 24/7 organization hotline out there for you guys. And there's a lot of places like that. We did do that autism awareness event last April. We were going to do it again this month. So down in the news feed, and I'll see about posting it into this mental health check event so it's easier to find. But we did an autism awareness event at the Sussex County Y where a lot of community partners came and everyone got to network and talk with one another. I was there representing I'm Alive. So by being able to kind of look up those organizations can be helpful as well. And then kind of last thing to close up before I answer kind of any questions and Stacy's question is if you guys need anything at all, really, please do not hesitate to reach out to us here at the Y. We're here for you guys. We miss you all. We know we're going to see you soon. We see you now. So this has been really, really amazing to be able to do. So any questions, reach out because we are here. Stacy's question from the first Facebook that ended was, do you ever feel like you have too much time and no time at all? Yes, I do. As someone who has anxiety, and I'm not afraid to admit that because I think we all feel anxiety to a certain extent, that feeling is being overwhelmed. So feeling like, okay, I have this whole day ahead of me, and then all of a sudden you feel like you can't get something done because you're overwhelmed or you can't focus or you're stressed. So yes, absolutely. When that happens, this is when we can come up with some of these coping skills. So whether it is making that list of, okay, I have only 40 minutes to do something. What do I want to do in that time? If you feel like you're overwhelmed, again, stepping away and being able to do maybe the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you can come back and refocus. So Yes, absolutely. I think that's perfectly normal, and especially with what we try to do in the world today and being kind of everywhere but nowhere all at once, I definitely think that is perfectly normal and does happen. So, yeah. Hello, we were just finishing up. So, if anyone on here has any more questions, definitely ask away. Ask in the comments, and I'll stay on for about another 10 seconds. And then again, if you're like, oh, she said something, but I can't remember what Sarah said earlier in the video, these are going to be up on our Facebook page. If you want to come back through and just listen again just to calm down, absolutely, we are here. And I did have some poll questions, but I don't know how they're working in here. It doesn't let me post them. So I'm going to work on that. All right, my friends, I'm going to end the live video. Thank you so much for being here. If there's any questions, put them in the event or in the comments, and I will definitely answer them. And we will see you soon. And guess what, guys? We totally got this. We're going to be okay. We are okay. We're here. All right? Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.